Tenses. Tense is a form of the verb which shows the time and the state of an action or event. Corresponding to the three divisions of time, there are three tenses. Number 1, the past tense. Number 2, the present tense. And number 3, the future tense. The past tense refers to the past time, means your yesterday. Yesterday means as today is Tuesday, yesterday was Monday. So it is past tense. Now comes present tense. Present tense refers to the present time. Present time means today. As today is Monday, so it is present time. So present is Monday. The third tense is the future tense. The future tense refers to the future time. Future time means tomorrow. As tomorrow is, today is Tuesday and tomorrow is Wednesday. So Wednesday is your future tense. Each tense has four forms. First is present tense. Present tense has four forms. Number 1 is present indefinite tense. Present indefinite tense is also called simple present tense. Number 2, present continuous tense. Present continuous tense is also called present progressive tense. Number 3, present perfect tense. And number 4, present perfect continuous tense. In the same way, as present tense has four forms, past tense also has four forms. The same: past indefinite tense, past continuous tense, past perfect and past perfect continuous tense. And now comes future tense. Future tense also has the same forms: future indefinite tense, or we can say simple future tense, future continuous tense, future perfect tense and future perfect continuous tense. So first of all, we are starting with the present tenses. Verbs expressing the present. So first of all, what is simple present tense? Simple present tense, when there are affirmative sentences, it can be used as, the rules are subject. Subject means the person who is doing something or about whom we are talking about in the sentence. Subject plus first form of the verb plus s or es. S or es is used with first form of the verb. And then comes negative sentences. In the negative sentences, first of all, we write subject plus do or does. Do or does, as it is negative sentence, so it will become do or does plus not plus first form of the verb. And every one of you knows what is the use of, how to use do or does. Do is used with plural nouns and does is used with singular nouns. Even I is also singular, you may also be singular, but we use do with I and you. Then comes interrogative sentence. In interrogative sentences means we are asking someone, we are asking questions. So the sentence starts with do or does. So we will write like this: do or does plus subject plus first form of the verb, and then will become remaining part of the sentence, and then at the end we will put the question mark. The interrogative sentence always ends with the question mark. And now comes present continuous tense. As present continuous tense is also called present progressive tense. The rules of using present continuous tense are subject plus is, am or are plus first form of the verb plus ing. And how to use is, am, are? With singular we use is, with I we use am, and with the plural nouns we use are. And when we are writing negative sentences, we write down subject plus is, am or are plus not plus first form of the verb plus ing. And in the interrogative sentences, interrogative sentence starts with is, am or are plus subject plus first form of the verb plus ing and then remaining part and then at the end question mark. Interrogative sentences always end with the question mark. Now, how to differentiate simple present and present continuous tense? Now we will discuss through the examples. When we are talking about simple present tense, as the first example is given here, the simple present tense is used to talk about habits, routines or actions that are done repeatedly. For example, Sneha goes for her judo classes every evening. Now it is her routine, she every day goes there. So whatever the work is done in routine every day, we use simple present tense. As here we are using the verb go, as Sneha is singular noun and we are using s or es with the singular Sneha. So it will become Sneha goes for her judo classes every day. And now in the same way, present continuous tense. Present continuous tense, see the first part, to talk about an action going on at the same time of speaking, means the action which is going on at the time, as we are doing now. What we are doing now? We are studying now. The action is going on, the action is in progress. In the same way it is said to talk about an action going on at the time of speaking. And here we can give one example. Sneha is going for her judo classes, means at the time of speaking we are talking about Sneha and Sneha is going for judo classes. Now come to simple present tense. Number 2. Simple present tense, to talk about scientific or universal truth. For example, a plant needs air, water and soil to grow. Whenever we talk about scientific truths or universal truths, because these truths can never be changed, they remain the same as they are, so we use only simple present tense. Now the third point is to advise, request and order, means imperative sentences. In the imperative sentences also we use only simple present tense. As you know, the imperative sentences always start with the first form of the verb, and first form is used in the simple present tenses. So the imperative sentences always start with the simple present tense. The examples are here given. See a doctor at the earliest, and the second example is open the book and read the poem. Here see is the first form of the verb, and in the second sentence open is the first form of the verb, so it is simple present tense. And now see the second part of present continuous tense. Present continuous tense, second part is to talk about actions going on these days and not just at the time of speaking. It is also should be kept in mind that present continuous tense is not only used at the time of speaking only, but when something is going on these days, at that time also we use present continuous tense. For example, Aditi is learning computers these days, means these days the work is in progress. These days she is learning computers. The work is in progress, the work is in continuation. So Aditi is learning computers these days. It also comes under present continuous tense. The third part of present tenses is present perfect tense. And how to use them? What are the rules to write a present perfect tenses? The first is affirmative. When there are affirmative sentences, the rules are subject plus has or have plus third form of the verb plus object. And you know how to use has or have? With singular we use has, and with plural we use have. With I and you also we use have. In the negative sentences, the rules are subject plus has or have plus not plus third form of the verb plus object. And next is interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences are started with the helping verbs, that is has or have. Has or have plus subject plus third form of the verb plus object plus question mark means the sentence ends with the question mark. And now look at the uses of present perfect tense. Number 1. Present perfect tense is used to talk about an action just completed. For example, I have talked to the principal means the action has just completed. And number 2, to talk about an action that happened in the past but whose effect can be felt at the moment of speaking means the action was done in the past but its effect can be seen at the moment of speaking. For example, I have read all these books, so I need not read them now. Now see, all the books have been read in the past, but their effect is still at that moment of speaking. So there is no need to read them again. So it is the use of present perfect tense. The fourth part of present tenses is present perfect continuous tense. As the title says, perfect continuous means it is the combination of present perfect tense and present continuous tense. Now, what are the rules to use them? In the affirmative sentences, we use subject plus has or have plus been plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object plus since or for plus time. In the negative sentences, subject plus has or have plus not plus been plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object plus since or for plus time. Now come to interrogative sentences. Has or have plus subject plus been plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object plus since or for plus time plus question mark. Now note here one thing, the use of for and since. For shows a period of time up to now. When the duration or a period of time is given to us, we use for. And since shows some point of time in the past, it means from that point to the time of speaking. Or in short, we can say the since shows the starting point of time when any work had started in the past. And that particular point, when that particular point is given, specific point is given, starting point of time is given, we use since. For examples for 2 days means duration is given here 2 days, so we will use here for a long time duration is given, but it is not given when the work had started. When the starting point is given, we use since, and when only duration is given, we use for. Now the examples of since Monday, since 1984. Now here starting point is given to us when the work had started, Monday, when 1984. When the starting point is given, we use since. And now look at the uses of present perfect continuous tense. It is used to talk about an action that began in the past, is continuing at the time of speaking, and will extend into the future. As I had told you in the previous slide, that it is the combination of perfect and continuous tenses. And now you can see here the first point, the action that began in the past means in the perfect tenses, action always begins in the past, and in the continuous tenses, the action is done at the time of speaking. And here it is to talk about an action that began in the past means it is talking about the perfect tenses. The next is continuing at the time of speaking. Now it is saying about the continuous tenses. So it is a combination of perfect continuous tenses. So keep in mind while doing this tense that it tells always about the perfect and continuous tenses. So read again. It is used to talk about an action that began in the past, is continuing at the time of speaking, and will extend into the future. Means the work has not still completed, but it will be continuing in the future, will extend in the future. And we use since and for with this tense. I have already told you about this. For example, Ria has been playing for 2 hours now. Now the duration is given here that Ria has been playing for 2 hours. 2 hours means since that 2 hours, for 2 hours she has been playing, means she had started playing in the past and still she is playing and will be continuing playing. And second example is Ishu has been staying in Delhi since 2010. Means in 2010 he had started staying there. At present he is staying and future maybe he will be staying there. And now we are starting with the past tenses. Now see the rules of simple past tense. Firstly, affirmative sentences. It is used as subject plus second form of the verb plus object if it is given there. And in negative sentences, subject plus did plus not plus first form of the verb. Now see the difference. In the simple sentences we are using second form of the verb, and in the negative sentences we are using first form of the verb, because in place of second form we are using did. So don't make any mistake here. While writing the negative sentences we use did plus not plus first form of the verb. Next is interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences starts with helping verb did plus subject plus first form of the verb plus object plus question mark, and do not forget to use the question mark. Now see the past continuous tense. In the affirmative sentences we use subject plus was or were plus first form of the verb plus ing. The use of was were, was is used with the singular and were is used with the plural nouns. And then negative. Subject plus was or were plus not plus first form of the verb plus ing. In the interrogative sentences, was were plus subject plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object plus question mark. Now look at the uses of simple past and past continuous tenses. Simple past tense. Number 1, to talk about an action that took place at some point in the past. See here, at some point in the past. For example, I bought this dress yesterday, means point of time is here yesterday. I bought this dress yesterday. Here second form of the verb is used. And second point is to talk about a past habit. For example, he went to the church every Sunday. Now it is the past habit. So we are using here second form of the verb. We can relate this sentence to the present tenses. Even the present tenses also we use for the habit, routine habits, but in present. And here we are using in the past, using about the past habit. So we are talking here about the past habit. He went to the church every Sunday. Now past continuous. The first is to talk about an action that was going on at some point in the past, means the action was in progress. Similar as in present continuous tense, the work is always in progress at the time of speaking, and in the past continuous the work was in progress at the time of speaking. Means about which time we are talking here, it means the work was in progress. For example, the teacher was checking the notebooks, means about whatever particular time we are talking about, the teacher was checking the notebook, means the work was in progress. Second point is to talk about a frequently repeated past action. For example, she was always complaining about the system. Means this action is repeated again and again in the past. Number 3, to express the gradual development of an action. For example, the listeners were becoming impatient. Means gradual development. The action was that they were becoming impatient, and it was gradually it was developing. So here we are using past continuous tense. And now the third part of the past tenses is past perfect tense. Now look at the rules of past perfect tense. In the affirmative sentences, the rules are subject plus had plus third form of the verb plus object. As it is similar to present perfect tense, in the present perfect tenses we use has or have, and in the past perfect tense we use had. It is only the difference between present and past perfect tense. In the negative sentences, the rules are subject plus had plus not plus third form of the verb plus object. Now interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences start with the helping verb. The helping verb is here had. Had plus subject plus third form of the verb plus object plus question mark. And now the last and the fourth part of past tenses is past perfect continuous tense. Now look at the rules of past perfect continuous tense. In the affirmative sentences we use subject plus had been plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object plus since or for plus time. In the negative sentences, subject plus had plus not plus been plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object plus since or for plus time. And now the interrogative sentences, had plus subject plus been plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object plus since or for plus time plus question mark. And now look at the uses of past perfect and past perfect continuous tenses. First of all, look at past perfect tense. Past perfect tense is used to talk about an action already completed before a certain point in the past. For example, when I reached home, she had already cleaned the room. Now the certain point is here, when I reached home. And which action was completed? It was the room was cleaned. So the which action was done first, that is past perfect tense. Now you can also remember like this, the past perfect is past of the past. Means the action which was done before, that is past perfect tense. Now look at past perfect continuous tenses. It is used to talk about an action that began before a specific moment in the past, had continued up to that moment, and was still in progress. For example, my teacher had been teaching for nearly half an hour when I reached the class. Means the action was started in the past and still was continued in the past. Means still it was in progress. So it is a combination of perfect and continuous tenses. Now we start simple future tense. Future tense, in the sentences, affirmative sentences, the word order is like this: subject plus will or shall plus first form of the verb plus object. And you know the difference between will and shall? Will is used with the second and third person. Second person you and third person he, she, it, they, etc. And shall is used with the first person. First person is I and we. But sometimes they interchange, means will is used with the first person and shall is used with the second and third person. But we will discuss about it in the chapter modals. But when we talk about the pure future, pure colorless future, we use I and we with shall and you, he, she, it with will. Now negative sentences. In the negative we use subject plus will or shall plus not plus first form of the verb plus object. Now come to the interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences start with will or shall plus subject plus first form of the verb plus object plus question mark. Uses of simple future tense. Number 1. It is used to express an action or event that is yet to take place with or without a time expression. Means we can use the future tense with or without a time expression. For example, I shall go there tomorrow. We are using a time expression, that is tomorrow. And in the another example, they will help us. Now here we are not using time expression, so we can express an action that is yet to take place. It may be with time expression or without expression. Number 2. To express the speaker's opinion or assumption about future. For example, I think he will come back. Generally we use will or shall in the simple future tenses, but still there are some other ways in which we can talk about future. Now look at this slide. We can talk about future in different ways. Number 1. Simple present tense. Simple present tense is used to talk about facts in the future and to talk about plans that will not change, means the plans that are fixed, programs that cannot be changed. For example, we fly to Sydney on Monday, means the program has been fixed, the schedule has been fixed, so it cannot be changed. So we can use here simple present tense. We can take here one more example. For example, your this period gets over at 11:30. Now the time is fixed, it cannot be changed. So we use here simple present tense, but we are talking about future but we are using simple present tense. Number 2. Present continuous tense. To talk about things that we have planned or arranged to do in the future. Example, the Minister of Education is visiting the college tomorrow. Is visiting, that is planned, that is arranged to do in future. So we can use here present continuous tense. Third point is be going to plus first form of the verb. To talk about plans for the future and other future happenings. For example, I am going to build a new house. Number 4. Planned future can also be expressed by, first point is, am, are plus to plus first form of the verb. Number 2. Is, am, are plus about to plus first form of the verb. For example, the Minister of Education is to open the exhibition on Monday. And second example is, the train is about to leave soon. Second part of the future tenses is future continuous tense. In the affirmative sentences, the rules are subject plus will or shall plus be plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object. In the negative sentences, subject plus will or shall plus not plus be plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object. In the interrogative sentences, will or shall comes first plus subject plus be plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object plus question mark. Now notice here one thing, that in all the continuous tenses, whether it is present, past or future, we use first form of the verb plus ing. As the work is in progress, in the continuous tenses we use ing. Uses of future continuous tense. Future continuous tense deals with actions that will be going on at some point of time in future. For example, at this time tomorrow we will be watching a movie. At this time tomorrow means that is some point in future, point of time in future, that is at this time tomorrow we will be watching a movie. The action will be going on, the action will be we will be watching a movie. Future perfect tense. The rules of future perfect tenses are: in the affirmative sentences we use subject plus will or shall plus have plus third form of the verb plus object. In the negative sentences, subject plus will or shall plus not plus have plus third form of the verb plus object. In the interrogative sentences, will or shall plus subject plus have plus third form of the verb plus object plus question mark. Uses of future perfect tense. First point, to talk about an action that will have been completed by a certain future time. For example, by the end of this year, he will have saved a lot of money. Now certain future time is here, end of the year. Remember here one thing, in this respect it is always used with the time expression. For example, by then, by that time, etc. In the above example we have written by the end of this year. This is time expression. And number 2, to express the speaker's belief that something has taken place. For example, you will have heard about this news. Now notice one thing, in all the perfect tenses, whether it is present tense, past tense or future tense, the action has been completed at a certain point of time. The last part of the future tenses is future perfect continuous tense. In the affirmative sentences, we use subject plus will or shall plus have plus been plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object plus since or for plus time. In the negative sentences, subject plus will or shall plus not plus have plus been plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object plus since or for plus time. In the interrogative sentences, will or shall plus subject plus have plus been plus first form of the verb plus ing plus object plus since or for plus time plus question mark. And since or for I had explained you in the tenses when we were doing present tenses. So now you can go back to that slide if you again want to know about it. Uses of future perfect continuous tense. To express an action as being in progress over a period of time that will end in future. For example, by next December we shall have been living here for 6 years. Now the duration of time is here 6 years, means the person will have been living there for 6 years, but it will end in future. It will end on by next December. Now note here one thing, that this tense combines the meaning of completion and continuity. Although the duration of time will be complete, the action will still be in progress. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. Okay, goodbye.